All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another Mud stream. It's going to be a little bit short, or on the shorter side today, because I have some work to do outside of what I have been doing, typically. So, some stuff that was a little bit on the final minute, we'll say, last minute stuff came up. But that's okay, because it's going to be less busy than yesterday was. Yesterday was crazy. Woke up, streamed for 4 hours, got a bunch of work done on HYDRA, did all of that crazy shit with the Apostle. So much so that even later on, I was able to write the unit responses for the Apostle as well, which was pretty exciting. And yeah, just in general, it was pretty cool. So beyond that, had myself a lovely time producing the 4th episode of It's Server Time, talk show for CSGO. If you're interested, you can look that up. And then I recorded an interview with Elfish Guy, which is now live on the YouTube channel. The other channel. It's right here. Just dropped. Get it while it's hot. Other than that, I mean, that's been all the content that I was working on yesterday, so pretty much all that stuff is out. There will be another thing that I am putting my name on later today, around 5 o'clock. So we got about 2 hours before that shit hits the fan, more or less. So that's why today's stream is going to be a little short. And yeah, after that, probably work on some video content, get more work done in that Batman video. That will definitely be out by the end of the week, I think. It's very unlikely that it takes very long at this point. So very much looking forward to that. So. Trying to figure out the camera stuff here. I'm also a little concerned because I don't really know why, but it seems like my lighting is off on a more often, like, day-to-day situation. Oh, okay. If I toggle it onto auto, it comes into focus a bit more. Okay, well. And does that reset if I close this? No. I don't fucking know then. Who knows? All right, so. I was looking at Observance over here, but I have a little bit of a different thing that I need to take a look at. Let's see. Here we go, Blood Tithe proc. So that should be enough to fix that bug that I noticed earlier in that sort of thing. Because I noticed we were dealing with a situation where if I attacked a unit with the Apostle, it would actually not be doing full damage if it was like a, say, a Marine, right? Whereas now, that's not quite the case, right? So yeah. There's a little bit of info on the medic issue as well. Apparently that is going to require a little bit more work than before, but in theory it should be resolvable at some point. That's very satisfying. You guys can't hear that, but that is fucking good, man. I'm telling you. Just seeing that in action. That's actually really surreal to me. Like, I never would have thought I could take a Starcraft mod in that direction. That is a crazy opportunity right there, man. All right, so let's go through here, and we are going to see if we can... Yeah, here we go. If rend is less than 5, add... Yeah, because that's the cap. Okay. I'm not sure where it would be best to add an overlay call. I don't know how this is handled exactly. I'm thinking we could probably automate it anyway. We could probably just do it in game hooks, but I don't necessarily like to have the code be so separate, if I can help it. Is there anything about observance in here? Looks like there is. All right, so if unit equals observed. Yeah, see, I'm not really sure. So if the timer debuff is... Okay, so this is reapplying the effect, basically. Or incrementing the effect, I guess. So this is either incrementing it or removing it, if there's a science vessel in the area. I think that's what that's doing. So that has actually very little to do with the overlay itself. But I guess what we could do is we could create the... So when we're removing this, right, that would be when we would say... there's some like remove overlay thing. Maybe it's remove... Let's see. Unit remove overlay. And what is it exactly here for the syntax of this? Oh. Okay. No, you idiot. Send me to the fucking... Why isn't it just showing me what remove overlay actually is? Oh. There's two structs, apparently. Oh, I see. All right, so in that case, I can just give it a range. But there should be different names there. But so in this case, we're looking at image ID 1231 through 1220 or 1233. And let's see here. So this is the initial cast, which should be what applies the overlay, essentially. The problem is you could, in theory, cast it on something that doesn't have the overlay. So what I can do is, so if rend is less than 5, right? Like that's the initial thing to see if it's going to do anything. And then in here I can have a nested if that's like if rend equals 0. And then in here I can do the scbw create. There's like or I guess it would be like unit create. Oh no. Target over. Surely there's got to be a way to like add an overlay or something. How did I do this for something like? I mean, I think there's probably stuff in here for that somewhere. Snathercore proc, Ecclesias proc. There's imgul, which is that's something, but I need an imgul. It's weird to me that there isn't an overlay, or is it like create image or something? No, I don't know. That's really weird. There's probably something about overlays in game hooks, though. Overlay. Unit sprite. Well, this is removing it, apparently, so... But maybe that's something. Maybe I could do something like unit or target sprite. Yes, here we go. Now we're talking, dude. All right, so we can do like... We're unfortunately going to have to do that stupid nested thing where we compare sizes or whatever. So we got 1233 for small. And it'll be 0, 0, 0. We can just duplicate this a few times. So 1 is large. And then we're looking at... Wait, how is this handled in here? Oh, it's base property. Yeah, that makes more sense, I guess. So we would say target ID. All right, so that should be relatively simple as far as that's concerned. What is this? Oh. That was me being dumb. Right, so if you're casting on a unit for the first time, this overlay will get created. That's how I'm trying to handle it anyway. Might not be the most efficient code. I'm sure there's some way to do that in a more intelligent way, but, you know, it is what it is. So now we have got to actually implement the system here, the overlay. We obviously don't need to play that particular sound, I don't think. No real need to play any sound for this particular thing, I believe. What's up, DF? Man of the hour, of course. Off the top of your head, do you know if there needs to be a specific type or construction for graphics that loop? The fuck? Oh. I guess I'll find out pretty soon if it's a requirement or there's some weird special setup that needs to happen. Doesn't seem like anything's been happening here. So Oh, maybe they have to be in a certain range or something? No. Alright, hold on. Oh, there it is. It got removed a little too soon. So it's not actually triggering unless it targets a unit, it looks like. I'm also not sure why it's expiring so soon. So I think I know why. It's because I've got to apply this every single time there's a unit found. So I don't really know where I would put that code. Because like this is only checking for the target of the weapon. It's not checking for every unit that's hit by the weapon. So this checks and refreshes the buff, and this handles the initial unit, but it's not. Maybe the problem is actually that the weapon doesn't have splash. So that's 122. So I can double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure it has splash. It was supposed to have splash. Oh, well, it's set to use splash, but obviously doesn't have splash specified because XD. So let me see what the radius was supposed to be. 4, yeah, okay. Well, that'll fix that particular issue. I'm not really sure on the duration, though. Because it was getting removed even when... Well, the overlay was getting removed even if there was... let's see. So it's checking every 5 seconds and adding 1, right? But the code to remove the overlay is only here if there are no science vessels within range. So I'll try increasing the range, but that shouldn't be necessary per se. I guess I can also add a remove overlays. Try that. Okay. I'm also not sure why the overlay... Oh, I didn't actually write code for the overlay to get created on the vessel, so that's probably why. It's probably something wrong with the finder. But yeah, it's not finding people, even though the splash in theory is there. Let me double check that the order is... That this weapon, anyway, is even used by the order. Apparently it is, and it does say use weapon targeting. So I don't know what would be the cause of that. But the other thing is that I don't actually know if that's normal behavior. Or not. I do know that apparently observance is mostly handled in hold on. I don't know if observance is handled in A's, or to what extent observance is handled in A's anyway. Oh, I guess. That should be up there, but whatever. Well, it's permanent now, but I kind of like that it's on the lower part there. That's pretty cool. Very, very mild. So now we need to create code that will remove this overlay. Actually, I think it would probably be better to do this in game hooks anyway. We can go back up to the observance match. So we would say unit so we would say just refresh the overlay. I don't know about that one though. I mean, like, the main concern is that you would create a lot of overlays every single time there was a match, you know? Okay. So here we've got code that would be fine in a vacuum. I don't think there would be any problems with this method of removing the overlay. The problem is I don't know how to create the overlay if you don't already have it, because the has overlay, there's got to be some command that can check for a matching overlay ID or something. Maybe something like if unit sprite over get overlay. Is that real? What does that do? Okay. So now if it doesn't have it, create it. And if it does have it, remove it if it's returning false, basically. Oh, no. I guess you don't actually need to return it at all in that sense. So you only need to remove it if a unit is no longer within range. Oh, so maybe we can make the overlay here last a short amount of time, so that it actually has a finite lifespan, basically. So like maybe we can go back over here and we can do this animation for like say 1, 2, like, and then go to the death animation. I don't know, that it seems like a really weird workaround system in my book, but maybe it would be okay. Let's see what it's like if we do it this way anyway. I'm still not sure about how to make it so that it applies to all units that are actually affected by the ability. I don't even know how to check, really, what units were affected by the ability. I might actually have to create a finder in weapon damage to apply the not only the overlay, but just the stacks to all affected units. But I can probably do that relatively easily since I've done that before. Just trying to figure this out. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on here. It seems like Observance match is not put together correctly. Well, maybe Icor will know what's wrong with it. Wait, I'm so confused. What did I just edit? Oh. What the fuck is this? This isn't the right one at all, I don't think. Hold on. What weapon ID is this? It's 122, isn't it? Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it then. Oh, well, maybe it's also... This is so stupid if this is the reason why. Alright, well, that's not gonna work. Yeah, it's only checking once every 5 seconds. So that's probably something that we need to figure out separately. We'll probably have to separate that into its own function. I think that came out pretty well, though. I think it looks all right. So, here we go. I don't know where exactly to put the code to create the overlay for the science vessel, though. I'm thinking it might be suitable to actually put it in here, but I would need another finder to... maybe something like... Yeah, the problem is that this only happens every... This doesn't happen at every tick. It happens... hold on. This happens every 5 seconds, basically. So I don't know how to, like, this code would be fine if I could do it that way. The problem, like, I could extend the length of the animation to be 5 seconds. But then if you pull it away, there's no immediate drop off of when the animation is no longer there. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to do it every, like, how many frames is this anyway? Looks like, wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay. So I think I can do this a little bit different. So we'll say scbw get generic timer unit value ID observance overlay timer. So yeah, then I could just like add this over here. Oh no, I can't add it in there though. That doesn't work. Because of what we were just talking about. This is a really kind of a goofy thing to do, but that would be equally as complicated, I feel like, because I have to balance out the actual gameplay mechanic associated with it. It's all in the same thing. Hold on. So if I'm right about how I set this up, I always get confused looking at this shit, unfortunately. But if I'm right about this, then the way that it's going to work is the observer is the vessel. The unit is any potential match of like a victim. And we're checking to see if that victim is the same thing as the unit, or if it's allied to the player, or if it doesn't have the timer. And in any of those cases, we're returning false. But if otherwise, we're returning true. And in the case that we do return true, that's when our code will execute here. And create this overlay. So in theory, that should work. I just don't know if I've done it correctly here. So I guess time will tell. Moment of you. Well, it's not going to show because I'm allied. Zella 12.1. It does not appear to be working. Classic. So how does this exactly work? So that variable name is kind of unrelated. So in this case, we're checking. All right, rather than observer, this should actually be the victim then. And I think. But I don't know if that's true. I think maybe this should actually be the. No, I think that's right for that to be the vessel. Yeah, I think that's what was supposed to happen. Or maybe not. But I don't know, like there's no change if I do it that way. Pool match. Unit. How does some of this other shit work exactly? Matching paladin. Yeah. So you see how here it's like they're comparing the unit to whatever the linked unit is. That's what they're first checking, is if it's the linked unit. But they always are, like, the unit is what they're finding in theory in the callback here. So that's why I don't really understand what's happened. Oh wait, I know why. It's because the observance overlay timer was never set. So now over in weapon damage, I need to set this. Why does deleting in this program? Holy fuck, that's so annoying. I don't know why, but deleting in this program results in some really stupid shit. Like copies and pastes whatever I deleted. Okay. So it does play once, it seems, but doesn't appear to. Oh, it's because I don't set the so we set generic timer unit ID observance overlay timer 18. So yeah, we're supposed to reset that value, and then I think everything's fine. So yeah, my finder was actually okay, it looks like. And obviously, delete that. All right. With any luck, we will have had some success here. Cops are after me, but I did it. Check that out. Now, the only problem is that I would need to set this debuff. Or I would need to set that timer to all science vessels, basically. Yeah, so that didn't really accomplish the goal. But obviously, if I fly away, it should remove itself. Yeah. But like now, if I go back. What if I do less than or equal to 1? That might fix it for everything, actually. It's the only issue there is that it's checking it every single tick. It's like another thing to be checked every single time. But I don't know, maybe it's fine. Alright, the effect fell off. Doesn't help that they run, but here, I'll kite them in. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I think I know why that happens. So it should be timer debuff. Wait, hold on. I don't know about that one, actually. Get generic timer on the unit. So yeah, so what would stop it in theory would be that their timer is above 0. What's up, Luciferius? But yeah, I mean in theory that should be fine. Like I don't see any particular issues. It looks like it's fine. It looks like it's working. Pretty thematic, I think. But like if we come over here, for a split second there, it started working again. I don't know why. Like the science vessel overlay bugged out or something. Is what it looked like. And I don't know. It's so weird. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. It's when I push the button that it activates? I don't understand. Oh, that's an interesting bug. I think what happened is that iQuire originally thought that Observance was a tiered thing. So every tier, like, or a switch, a form switch. So I think what happens is I'm actually applying the effect invisibly to all units when I hit the button, even if I don't cast it. Because that was the initial, that's what iQuire thought it was supposed to be initially. That must be what's happening. Okay. Oh, thank you. It's definitely been an interesting time. Just dropped another one earlier, like an hour ago now. Yeah, there's that one damage. The medic is running around healing. At least we gave Ahmed pizza, dude. That's what matters. Yeah, that's definitely gonna have to be fixed. I think that's that should be possible to be fixed elsewhere. Now I wonder what happens if I hit the button without okay, if I don't have enough energy, it doesn't happen. Okay. Yeah, I try to like actually, even when it's somebody who's actually probably doesn't need an introduction, like Richard Lewis or Thorin, I do try to actually introduce the guest no matter what, especially if they are not necessarily somebody who everybody's heard of. So I think it's important to have that little bit of info because there's an off chance that maybe based on my introduction, you know, people who might not have watched the interview for very long otherwise might be like, oh, interesting. You know, he's responsible for some maps that I've seen added to the game, or he's a caster in this region or something. Like, basically gives you some understanding of like why you might be interested in the interview in the first place. So, yeah, hopefully that's. Hopefully that's something that shines through. Dude, imagine just hitting this button a billion times and adding invisible armor-piercing stacks. So yeah, what do you think about this whole thing, DF? I feel like it came out pretty well. I'm going to try it on some large units. I guess it'll be 27, 12, 1. Pizza Ultralisks. Check them out, dude. Yeah, I think it was actually a cool idea to do that. That thing where you had the little overlay go up and down. I don't know if that was there by default, but it was pretty good, I think. Worked out. The other thing that I was thinking about this is that I would like it to fade out instead of ending, but there's not really a good way to do that without just playing through the whole animation one last time to make sure. And at that point, it would be the read would not be accurate. You know what I mean? It would not be correct. I definitely think that actually feels like an ability now. Technically, it was also kind of buggy in a couple of other areas, but yeah, that's really cool that we got that done, though. Definitely a fan of that. I didn't even have that on my list of things to do, so. Oh, so you're talking about like restructuring the. Yeah, I could set it up that way. You're talking about restructuring the code so that it runs at every tick and changes the overlay to a more transparent one or something later on. Yeah, I don't think that the graphic that I found as like a placeholder or whatever is particularly flexible in that regard. I do think it works as a placeholder for this particular implementation, but to make the read more robust and to also have the aesthetics more consistent, more reasonable, fade out a little bit more cleanly, we definitely would want our own overlay. That's sort of true for everything, but I can sort of I know what you're getting at there. So. Uh, okay. Now you sent me an EMP graphic, and I'm trying to remember what the I actually have to start regular Discord to figure out what I originally asked for that for. There was something I was going to try to use it for. I think it was the effect for the structures or something. Yeah, boosted research speed. That's what it was supposed to be. Okay. Now the only problem is that I don't actually know how to speed that process up. I can't really create Okay. I can create a unit finder, right, for everything around the Crucible for boosted production speed. I can't actually boost the production speed in GPTP though, I think. The current implementation just boosts research speed, and that's in A's. And I don't think there's any way for me to like set a value or something that I can then read here. Or at least I'm sure there is technically a way, but I don't know what that way would be. So that being said, I can at least earmark that for future use if I jump into EMP, and we'll call this. I guess this would just be Crucible efficiency overlay. Okay. I don't actually have a button set for the Crucible, apparently. Okay. Hey, my mix ended like an hour ago somehow, and I didn't notice. Next. Gotta have what's next. All right, so there were a few other things that I wanted to try as far as figuring out some stuff for the Lazarus agent junk. Let's take a look at what we're at right now. Obviously, there are some overlays that I would like to implement for Lazarus Agent, both on initial proc and also on whatever it's called, fucking. Forget what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, when they revive. Yeah, it might have to be like super transparent or something. I don't know. I know it's unorthodox. It's just one of those things where I didn't initially see anything else. I guess I can start looking around because that Vital Device game might have something in it that is okay for an overlay. But most of its stuff seems to be very specific. Nothing very like subtle. I kind of like that, but I don't know what the fuck it would be for. Maybe in B-Fire or something it could work, but... it's not an overlay. He just made it so that they animated. He, like, recolored them a little bit. We could do that, though. We could make them, like, change their animation or something. Or maybe it was an overlay. I don't know. Like, the problem is... you have to have an animation for each kind of... like, each frame of the mineral field, right? So... by the way, this is another game where all the projectiles face the same direction. which is a little weird. Also, a lot of this stuff seems ripped from Starcraft at 1-to-1. Which is weird because some of their explosions and stuff appear to be isometric, whereas most of their graphics are like almost top down. So it doesn't really seem like it would fit, but you know. I think there were a couple of Zerg units that I wasn't happy with the exact timings. I think the Lurker was fine though. What was it, 67? The animation was just like a palette swap, but you have to make a version of it for every single... Like, it's not just one version per mineral field, it's one version per mineral field per level of resources. So... Yeah, I think that would be pretty useful, though, regardless. Oh my god. Why? The HYDRA one is actually pretty sick. TBH. Did you catch any of this, DF, when I was putting this together yesterday? I'll turn the sound on for you.
State typing.
Finally. State the nature of your medical emergency.
I'm here. I'm all over it.
Reverse Ahmed, dude.
I'm gone.
That's pretty good. I really like the firebat one.
Over it. Never know what hit him. I hear that. I'm all over it.
I guess the Zergling one should be moved back a little bit. I don't have a problem with them, honestly. I think that they it actually is unironically epic to me. I guess some people probably look at it and they think it's kind of goofy, but I think it's great personally. I think it's really cool.
I'm gone.
Yeah, the Marine one needs to be moved back a little bit too.
What hit him. I'm all over it.
And the High Templar one definitely needs to be moved back.
I'm gone.
But just the idea of that, like, is really cool. It's very much a Yeah, those all ones. Both the Protoss ones need to be moved back a little bit. I don't know. I just look at that and I think that's really fucking cool.
Finally. I hear that. I'm here.
I'm here, he says, after he fucking dies. See you. So yeah. Very unnatural. Very unnerving, TBH.
Standing by. Go, go, go.
Go straight for it, Commander. I'm here.
The timing is off just a little bit on some of these.
Finally. Never know what hit him. Go straight for
Did
it.
someone page
I
me?
have to be careful with these medics because they'll crash the fucking game.
Where does it hurt? Did someone page me?
Now that one is nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I can see where people might look at that and they're like, it's kind of weird that it's reversed, but I like it as if it's capturing the horror there. You know what I mean? Like imagine you see that, like it's supposed to be more intimidating than anything for the person who's fighting against the army to just see them literally reform after they were blown to pieces. So I hope that much is accomplished anyway. We're going to tidy up some of the more sounds. I didn't test the defiler. Forgot about it. I think that one's actually fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a big hit or not, but I just look at that. Like, I think that unit, honestly, the Apostle in general, shaping up to be my favorite fucking unit in the game, just because of the options it offers. I'm not going to close these in case I've gone too far with some of them, but... Yeah, it is a permanent benefit for the unit. Like, they will always revive at least once, right? But it's also, like, something you've got to prepare for. Yeah. No, I mean, like, the thing is, they only revive with half their health, so if they're a weak infantry unit and you've caught them in a Psystorm or something, odds are they're just going to revive and die again. But it's still, like, just the idea there. in my opinion. I also really think that when those some of the other, like, what do you call it? When the unit responses are in and we get the overlays in, I think it'll be really cool. Yeah, I guess that's all right. I don't know if I remuted or not. Yeah, I did. Probably needs to be moved back just a little bit. Yeah, I still think maybe all of, like, the Firebat ones and SCV ones should probably be moved back to like 0.1 or 0.2.
Never know what hit 'em. I'm all over it.
Yeah, like, that's pretty much the tightness that I need, I think.
I hear that. I'm all over it. I hear that.
Maybe that's like 0.2 more as well, but that looks pretty. That sounds pretty cool, I think.
Give me something to shoot.
Finally.
What grunts are you talking about?
Call the shot.
No, yeah. So the shadows are only broken on units that have no frames to play at the on their death animation. It's the SEV and the Firebat. So like the Marine actually is playing its death animation backwards, whereas there is no death animation for the Firebat or the SEV. So either I've got to make one, or I've got to do some other hackneyed bullshit. Same is going to be true for air units. I basically have to take like the air explosions of like the Scourge and the Mutalisk and the Guardian, and I've got to place them. I've got to add those frames into the graphic, play them backwards in the revival animation, and that's the way that I'll avoid having the shadow issues. The only problem being for air units is that I actually don't even know if that would fix it, because obviously the air unit shadows themselves are cloned from the source graphic. So I actually think it might even go a step further. And for the air units, I might have to do something like play a dummy frame that's actually blank, and then obviously the shadow would inherit that blank frame. Or maybe, because this is what I tried to do anyway for the, I don't think it worked. So for like the Firebat, yeah, or it's unused one, you can see that I'm actually removing the graphic. Temp remove graphic start, and then there's an end at the bottom. And that is there for the purpose of removing it until the graphic returns, right? But the shadow is still there. So I guess in a sort of a similar kind of fashion, if I just add one dummy blank frame to every single one of these graphics, play that frame, and have that be like, play that frame in the revival animation, and add a corresponding blank image to the shadow, then in theory it should be fine. I don't think it's possible to remove the shadow or uninitialize the shadow, because, I mean, ideally you would skip the initialization of the unit, and you would play Firebat unused 1, and then it would go to Firebat init to imgull it and do all that. Like, that's ideally what you would be doing, but as far as I understand, that's not feasible because of some internal bullshit that we've got to deal with. You're probably talking about the Madcap if you're talking about a submachine gunner. But yeah, I can... oh, I didn't test the Ghost. Fuck. Idiot. I like how the High Templar one came out, but just moving it back a little bit more shouldn't hurt in that situation. I actually don't know. I think the collision... oh, yeah. So what would probably happen is that they would start to repulse. I hope they wouldn't break the animation in that situation. I have not done that much testing in that regard. But, yeah, I think the Marine ones are fine now. We can close those. And I think the SV one needs to be like something like this. And then we can jump back in here. Oops. Wrong key. Soldier shooting a rifle. Well, there's a bunch of new Terran units. There's this guy.
Let's move. Give me something to shoot. Rock and roll.
And that's why I called him a submachine gunner, because I thought you were talking about this guy because he shoots really
Jacked up and
loudly, very fastly, very quickly. There you go, English.
State IP. For the turn of the heat. G-House. I heed thy call. G-House.
I'm here. Ghost reporting. I'm here. I hear that. I'm gone. I'm all over it.
Their animation does still seem broken. I don't know what's going on.
I'm gone. I'm gone. Never know what hit 'em. I'm gone. I'm all over it.
Oh, the Defiler's way out of sync.
Never know what hit 'em. I'm all over
Yeah, it looks like it's able to finish without fucking up too much.
Ghost report. I'm here. Finally. Call the shot. I'm gone. I'm all over it.
I think that the High Templar one probably might actually be the coolest one.
Ghost report. Call the shot. I'm all over it. I hear that. I'm all over it.
All right, let's do the Defiler one. It's a placeholder graphic. Don't have access to a modeler, so it's pretty much all I can do.
Call the shot. I'm here. Finally. I'm here. No one here.
Still a little bit off. As far as a fully fledged race of infested Terrans, probably not. It's not really that interesting to me.
Finally. Ghost report.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm looking forward to when we've got like full new voice acting for them, new sound effects for the sounds and new overlays and all that shit for the activation of the ability, stuff like that. I have this image of in my head of like a teaser for this particular unit where they're like walking down a ramp to take position near some infantry, and they have their voice acting in. They've got all of the overlays and like all the audio visuals, all the yards, all the knickknacks, and they just fucking they pop those buttons. You know, they get those buttons pushed. They pop that effect, and then there's a fight with some Zerg or something, and the Marines just start fucking reforming. Firebats start reforming. Pretty cool, I think. I guess to that effect, I should start working on a Firebat death animation. Oops. I don't know what I just did. Yeah, so there was a different... let's see here. There was another bug that iQuare reported to me, which was Ghost. So I changed the lockdown icon on this to spider mines, and because I did that, you'll never guess what happened. It broke everything. So what I'll do is I'll just save that, and then I can jump into graphics and CMD icons. And find call this CMD icons 0240. And replace that. And then we'll just... Yeah, they resurrect units that are affected by their ability. Alright, so... I should have fixed that bug.
Ghost report.
Although
I'm here. Ghost reporting.
It doesn't appear to redraw the UI.
Ghost reporting. I'm here.
I don't know what's going on there. I could probably create a... trying to think. I could probably use the beta... there's like a beta spider mine graphic somewhere. I could probably use that for the lobotomy mine as a placeholder. If I go to MPQ... All right. We'll extract. Oops. All right. Don't think that's supposed to be like that, but whatever. Oh, wait. I should probably do this a little bit differently. I want to make sure that this is like centered or whatever. Pretty obvious reasons. The fuck? It feels like my opacity is not correct. But fill is 100, opacity is 100, and my brush opacity is 100, and it's a pencil. So what? How? What the fuck? Yeah, that's 100% what's happening there. Did I enter into quick mask or something? I really have no idea. Like, why would it be? It's not like that layer. Wait, what the fuck? Dude, I'm so confused. Oh, man. What a guy, dude. Wait, did my audio end again without me really? Oh, no, I paused it. Oh, yeah, because I think I'm still unmuted, right? Fix that right up. It's like, no way. So you're looking to make a race of infested Terrans? Is that what I'm hearing? Hey, if you're gonna do some model work, you might as well be able to create some infested Terran models or something. I don't think so. No. Oh, it was because it wasn't full black, the brush. That's really weird. I'm glad I figured that out. Oh wait, what am I doing? I could just do this. Oh yeah, I don't actually know what the definitions of this graphic are. We're looking at 512 by 64. Yeah. Oh no, what's the normal subdivision again? Is it none? Yeah, I guess so. Pranked. Your higher mind. Oh. He looks like a different unit without his mech pack. His flame pack. I don't know why I said mech. I get the idea that Blizzard was going for with the explosions, but I do feel like there probably should have been a Firebat Death animation to begin with, TBH. All right. So I do think we're pretty good to go here. We can just render this, or index this rather, and boom. Right, and then we can take this last animation here, and I honestly think that was really easy to do. And I don't even have access to the fucking source shit, and I'm not an artist. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Ah. I mean, obviously, I didn't take it into a brave new direction or, you know, change the orientation of shit coming off of the corpse. But neither does the ghost one, for example, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. So we're dealing with Firebat 170. This is also an opportunity for us to make sure that it's centered correctly. It does go off to the right by 1, so pretty easy to fix that. Very, very minor change, but pretty big IMO. Oh yeah, actually, I wanted to also check something else. So if we jump back to the graphics, MPQ, Terran, if we go to Marine, right? Or rather, what do we got here exactly? So 221, right? So then if we go to TMA Shad, I'm kind of confused as to how there's no shadow here. But maybe that means that we don't need to, like, there are no shadow frames associated with the those frames. Maybe that's okay, or maybe that would you know, flood people's fucking IS debug logs. I don't know. I can take a look real quick. Doesn't look like we had any errors, so you know, in situations like that, maybe it's fine. I don't know. So let's go ahead and program this stuff in. It's going to be a sprawl, if I understand correctly, on most of the death animations. So we're going to have to create a sprites entry for the Firebat corpse. And we're going to call it 613, and we'll call it Firebat Death. 1234. Firebat Death. And including vision is 0, 0, and 0. All right, Marine Death, colon. Gonna go ahead and copy this. Oh, I guess we can copy this as well. Firebat Death. So we can say... this in between. Okay. Oh, the wrong one. So in PyTBL, I should go ahead and add Firebat Death.grp 1164. Let's go ahead and do I still have PyDot open? I do. So we can jump into Marine Death. Or, yeah, Marine Remnants. So I guess that's 79. That's fine. And it's set, everything besides draft cloaked is 0. That's about it. So that should be fine. We'll just have to slow sprawl, and this is 613, Firebat Remnants, HYDRA, Terran, Firebat Death. So now in this situation, we're going to take a look at the actual graphic. If I go back to that, we know it's 170. Yeah. So we'll say, first of all, what frame set is this? AA 171. 72. 73. 174. 175. 176. Goes down to 177. 6. I guess we skipped the first one there. That's why there's that many. Okay. And then we don't need to re-emgall the fucking explosion effect, I don't think. Oh, Fireband used one. So first we're just going to make sure that the Firebat dies correctly initially. Just get our firing squad. Oh, that's pretty funny. I'm not really sure why there would be an issue there. So we've got Sprawl 613. iScript ID 79, 1164. Hydra Terran Firebat Death. I don't know. That's really weird. I go to Hydra Terran Firebat Death GRP. And it's listed as 1164, and that's what we have it set up in here. 1234 is the image ID. 613 is what's in low sprawled. Strange. Well, anyway. Do a quick test. So that seems to work fine anyway. I'm not sure why it doesn't low sprawl. That's pretty much the only issue. I would also like a more flammable looking explosion and a smaller one that's a little bit more transparent. That doesn't hide the fact that there is an animation there as much, I guess. It's a kind of a selfish thing. Like I would just prefer to actually have the ability to do that. You know what I mean? To show off the fact that there is an animation there. But I don't like the idea of completely removing the flame aspect of things. So I definitely want there to still be some sort of explosion. It's tied into the sound and everything anyway. But I think a smaller explosion would be better. So I'll look around for something that might suit that sort of thing. Maybe like a more of a flame thing as well. That's short-lived. But yeah, I think that's a good start. We'll figure out why it's not low sprawling correctly. That'll be my next thing. It might just be that there is that weird issue where sometimes I'll get like a sprite ID or something that just doesn't work for whatever reason. I guess I can double check that marine remnants they are set to include in vision, which might have something to do with it, but for some reason they have that 0.19.6. We'll test that real quick to see if that's got anything to do with it. No, I didn't think so. Yeah, I got no idea. But we'll get that looked at later on. For now, we can push this. And unfortunately, I got to go as much as I would like to get more work done. Add Firebat Death animation and Titan more Lazarus Agent SFX. All right. That will do it for me. So, we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out. DF, thank you for all your help with the artwork. And I will catch you guys on another mod stream tomorrow. Might have an upload later today. We'll see. Oh, there'll be a dad car or something anyway. So, stay tuned for that. See you guys tomorrow for more. And yeah, if you ever die, just make sure you got Lazarus Agent before and you can live those last few moments in reverse, I guess. That's pretty much it. Bye.